Welcome to Life Stories Network. I want you to sit with me for a moment because this one hits close to home for many people. Families talk, compare, and judge. Sometimes you try to stay calm. Sometimes it cuts a little. My story started with a simple phone call from my mom. She told me my sister bought a beautiful home. She said it fast. She said it with pride. She said it with the kind of excitement you hear when someone announces big news. I felt happy for my sister. I also felt something tighten in my chest. It was not jealousy. It was the feeling you get when you know you worked hard but no one sees it. I kept listening. Mom went on about the kitchen, the backyard, the fresh paint, and the large windows. I let her talk. I gave the right responses. I wanted to keep things calm. I wanted her to feel heard. Inside, I knew something else was coming. She paused. She asked about my place. Her tone changed. It sounded polite. It sounded careful. I knew what she wanted. She wanted a comparison without saying it. She wanted to hear that I did not reach the same level. I told her things were fine. I told her work kept me busy. She acted supportive, felt the pressure. I felt the expectation, felt like I was being graded by people who did not see my daily effort. My mom said she wished I had a home like my sister. She said it with a soft voice. I stayed quiet for a second. I felt the heat in my face, but I stayed calm. I knew she was not trying to hurt me. I also knew she had no idea how those words landed. What she did not know was that I had been working on something big. I had been saving for a long time. I planned my money with care. I wanted a place that matched my goals. I wanted a space that felt like mine. This was not a competition. It was personal growth. I had just closed the deal on a brand new condo. It cost $920,000. It was modern. It was clean. It was everything I wanted. I did not tell her right away. I wanted to wait. I wanted the timing to be right. Wanted them to see it rather than hear it. A few days later, my sister invited everyone to visit her new home. She was excited. She earned it. She worked for it. I showed up with a gift basket and a smile. Her place looked good. It had neat decor. It had a solid layout. Everyone walked around with wide eyes. Mom took pictures. She called it perfect. I stayed respectful. I congratulated my sister. I gave her sincere praise. Everything felt normal until small comments slipped out. Someone said I should try to buy a place soon. Someone said I needed to plan better. I felt my jaw tighten. I let the comments pass. I did not want to ruin her moment. Later that week, I invited them to my new condo. I told them I had something to show. They thought I wanted to share a random update. They thought I wanted to talk. No one expected anything big. My mom asked if it was another rental. I told her to just come and see. When they reached the building, they looked around. They saw the lobby. They saw the clean lines, the quiet halls, the glass panels, the open space. Their eyes shifted. Their steps slowed. I could feel the change. We reached my unit. I opened the door. No one spoke. They looked at the floor, the lighting, the walls, the view. You could see the city lights from the living room. My sister walked. In first, her mouth opened a little. Mom stepped forward. She stopped near the kitchen island. She touched the counter like she wanted to check if it was real. My cousin stood near the window. He looked outside. His eyebrows lifted. Everyone froze. No one expected this. No one pictured me living here. Mom finally asked the price. I told her. $920,000. Her eyes widened. She did not blink for a moment. My sister looked between me and the condo with a stiff smile that looked unsure. The room felt tight. I did not feel joy. I did not feel victory. I felt something heavy. I felt the weight of comparison drop on the whole room. I wished they saw this as progress. I wished they saw effort. Instead, they looked confused. They looked surprised. They looked unsure of what to say. I told them how long I had saved. I told them how many hours I worked. I told them how much discipline it took to reach this point. They stayed quiet. I expected support. I expected celebration. Instead, the air felt colder. Mom nodded slowly. She said she did not know. She said she did not expect this. Her tone did not sound excited. It sounded guarded. I felt the sting. I felt this silence take over. I wanted to understand it, wanted to fix it. I also wanted to protect my peace. My sister finally spoke. She said the place looked nice. Her voice sounded measured, like she was choosing each word with care. She gave a smile, but it looked stiff. I thanked her. I stayed calm. I tried to make the moment feel light. The room stayed heavy. I walked them through the condo. I showed them the rooms. I explained the layout. Their reactions stayed small. No joy, no loud appreciation, just quiet looks and controlled voices. It felt like I stepped into a strange version of my own family. When they left, my mom hugged me. Her hug felt shorter than usual. Oh. She said she was proud. Her tone sounded polite, not warm. I watched them walk away. I stood in the hallway. I let the silence sink in. I felt proud of myself. I also felt the sharp truth. Not every success brings connection. Not every achievement brings applause. Sometimes the people you expect to cheer stay quiet. Sometimes your growth makes others uncomfortable. Sometimes you learn what support really means in moments like this. I stood in my new place that night. I looked at the view. The city lights felt steady. My thoughts felt steady. I understood something important. You live for your own goals. You do not live for comparison. You do not live for approval that shifts with mood. You build a life that fits you. You build a life that reflects your values. You celebrate your wins even when others stay silent. That night, I let myself feel proud. I let myself breathe. I let myself grow a little more. Welcome back to Life Stories Network. I want you to step into the moment with me because part 2 of this story runs deeper than the condo reveal. The silence that followed my family's visit sat with me for days. It felt strange. It felt heavy. I did not expect them to shower me with praise. I did not expect dramatic applause. I only expected honesty. I expected warmth. I expected real happiness for me. Instead, everything felt quiet. My phone stayed still. No follow-up messages, no questions, no excitement. My sister posted pictures of her new home on social media, but she did not mention my condo. I did not feel angry. I felt puzzled. It was the kind of confusion you cannot shake off easily. You start wondering if people care or if they only care when your achievements feel smaller than theirs. A few days later, a mom finally called. Her voice sounded controlled. She asked how I was settling in. I gave simple answers. She talked about my sister's home again. She said my sister was adjusting well. She said the house looked even better after some new decorations. I listened. I did not interrupt. I waited for her to ask something real about my place. She never did. She avoided mentioning it. I felt the shift. I felt the way she tiptoed around the topic. I tried not to read too much into it, but it was hard. If you notice when someone pulls away, you notice when someone becomes careful. I invited her to visit again. She said she was busy. She said she would come soon. Something in her tones sounded off. I wondered if the condo made her uncomfortable. I wondered if it shattered some ideas she held of me. I wondered if she saw me differently now. I did not want to think these things, but the silence forced me to face them. The more you grow, the more you see who grows with you. Sometimes the people who love you still struggle with your progress. It does not make them bad. It makes them human. It also makes the situation complicated. My sister, on the other hand, stayed distant. No messages, no calls, no questions about my new place. I decided to reach out. I sent her a simple message. I congratulated her again. I asked how everything was going. She replied with a short answer. One line, no warmth. No curiosity. I looked at the screen and felt a pinch. I realized something. My success did not fit her idea of the family order. She always held the spotlight. She always held the louder praise. With one purchase, the dynamic changed. I did not want to compete. I did not want to threaten her. I only wanted my own progress. A week passed. I kept living my life. I decorated my place. I added little details that made it feel more like home. I cooked my first meal there. I sat by the window and let the city view calm me. I worked long hours. I stayed focused. My achievements were mine. They came from discipline and sacrifice. Still, something felt unfinished. I wanted closure. I wanted one honest conversation. I wanted clarity, not tension. That chance came sooner than expected. One evening, my mom called again. Her tone sounded heavier. She asked if she could come over. I said yes. She arrived with a stiff expression. She looked around, but this time her eyes looked unsure. Not impressed, not upset, just unsure. I offered her tea. She sat on the couch. I waited. She finally spoke. She said she felt overwhelmed the last time she visited. She said she never imagined I would buy a place like this. She said she always worried about me. She said she saw me as the one who played it safe. Her words hit me, not because they were harsh, but because they showed how she saw me. I told her I understood. I told her I knew she cared. I also told her it hurt when she pulled back. I told her I wanted her support, not silence. She listened. Her eyes softened. She said she did not mean to make me feel alone. She said she did not know how to react. She said she felt caught between me and my sister. She did not want anyone to feel overshadowed. I heard her. I felt her sincerity. I also felt the truth under her words. She was trying to keep the peace, but in doing so, she created distance. We talked for a long time. I told her my journey took effort. I told her I struggled. I told her I pushed myself. She nodded. She held my hand. She said she was proud, but she also said she needed time to adjust. I accepted that. Growth takes time. Acceptance takes time. Understanding takes time. We shared a quiet moment. It felt honest. It felt needed. It felt like a step in the right direction. After she left, I thought about my sister again. I knew we needed a real conversation too. I reached out and asked. If we could talk, she agreed. She came the next day. She walked into the condo with the same stiff smile. I offered her a seat. She stayed standing for a moment. Her eyes scanned the room like she was comparing every detail to her place. I saw the tension in her shoulders. I saw the hesitation. In her eyes, I stayed calm, kept my voice steady. She finally sat down. She said she wanted to be honest. She said seeing my place made her feel surprised. She said she always saw herself as the one who moved first in life. She said she felt proud of her home, but seeing my condo made her feel like she lost something. Her words came out slowly. She said she felt insecure. She said she knew it sounded petty, but she wanted to speak the truth. I respected her for saying it. Not everyone can admit these feelings. I told her I never wanted competition. I told her I cared about her success. Told her I wanted us both to win. She looked at me. Her expression loosened. Shoulders relaxed. She said she knew that. Said the pressure came from the family, not from me. Said she felt like she had to stay ahead to maintain her identity. Hearing her say that felt heavy. It also felt honest. Family expectations shape people in strange ways. They create roles you never asked for. They create comparisons that twist relationships. We talked for nearly 2 hours. No yelling, no judgment, just honesty. She said she felt embarrassed by her reaction during the first visit. I told her I understood. I told her I did not hold anything against her. She apologized. I accepted it. We began rebuilding something. Real, something not based on comparison. Something not based on family roles. Something based on mutual respect. When she left, I felt lighter. The condo felt brighter. The silence finally lifted. I learned something important in that moment. You cannot control people's reactions to your growth. You can only control your response. You can only choose empathy over anger. You can only choose peace over competition. You can only choose to protect your progress without losing your heart. Welcome back to Life Stories Network. Part 3 takes you into the aftermath, the place where the emotional dust settles, and you finally understand why everything happened the way it did. After the talk with my sister, things felt different. Perfect. Not magically fixed, different. There was a new honesty in the air, a new awareness. I realized that people do not always get shaken by your success because they dislike you. Sometimes they get shaken because they question themselves. They revisit their choices, they rethink their progress. They feel pressure, they feel fear, they feel exposed. When you step into a new level of your life, it forces others to reflect on their own. Change can make people uncomfortable, even the ones closest to you. Days passed. My condo started to feel normal, not new anymore, just mine. I settled into a routine. I woke up early. I made coffee. I looked out at the city. I felt grateful. I felt grounded. The noise of comparison faded. I realized that I built this life through discipline. It was not luck. It was not handed to me. It came from sacrifice. It came from saying no to distractions. It came from staying focused when everything felt uncertain. Those quiet choices shape everything. My mom visited again. This time her energy felt warm. She looked comfortable. She carried small gifts for the condo, simple things like coasters and kitchen towels. She told me she finally understood how much this place meant to me. She said she felt proud in a real way, not the polite kind. She also admitted that seeing me step into a new level made her emotional. She said she never wanted to see differences drive us apart. I hugged her. I told her I felt the same way. For the first time, the conversation felt balanced, not tense, not careful, just human. My sister visited later that week. She walked in with a lighter expression. She brought a plant. As a housewarming gift, she said it suited the place. She also said she wanted us to start fresh. I accepted the gift. I thanked her. We talked for a while. She told me she redecorated her home. She felt excited again, felt stable. She felt like herself. She said she understood now that success is not a race. She said she realized our wins do not cancel each other out. They can exist at the same time. They can stand side by side. Listening to her felt good. It felt real. I saw a side of her I had not seen in a long time. Not competitive, not guarded, just sincere. I told her. I supported her then and I support her now. She nodded. Her eyes looked clear. We shared a moment that felt honest. It reminded me of who we were before the pressure, before the comparisons, before the expectations that shaped us without our permission. Later that night, I sat at my kitchen island. I thought about the journey, thought about the struggles I kept to myself. I thought about the nights I worked late. I thought about the days I doubted everything. No one saw those moments. People see the result. They don't see the process. They see the condo, not the years behind it. They see the price, not the effort. They see the view, not the sacrifices. That is why comparison hurts. It ignores the real story. I understood something important. Your growth should never feel like a threat to the people who love you, but sometimes it does. Not because they lack love, because they fear losing their place in your life. They fear being left behind. They fear being overshadowed. That fear does not make them bad. It makes them human. What matters is how you respond. You do not shrink yourself to make others comfortable. You do not dim your own progress. You stay patient. You stay kind. You stay grounded. You rise without stepping on anyone. Weeks went by, the conversations in the family changed. My mom started. talking about my condo with pride in her voice. My sister talked about her plans with excitement, not comparison. My cousin reached out and asked for advice on saving money. He said my story inspired him. He said he realized he needed to take his goals more seriously. Hearing that felt strange, in a good way. Sometimes your growth becomes someone else's push, not through pressure. Through example, at a family gathering, my mom introduced me to someone as the one who bought the stunning condo. She smiled. She sounded proud. She did not sound conflicted. She did not sound careful. She sounded genuine. My sister stood next to her. She nodded and smiled. This time it felt natural. No tension in her face, no stiffness, just acceptance. Just support. It took time to reach this point. Time, patience, honesty. But we made it. One evening, as I looked out at the skyline, I felt something settle inside me. A calm understanding. A steady confidence. I worked for my life. I earned my peace. I realized that success is not only about money or property. It is about growth. Emotional growth, personal growth. Growth that changes how you see yourself and how you carry yourself. Growth that teaches you to let go of the need for validation. Growth that shows you who stands with you. My family needed time to adjust. I needed time to understand them. Together, we found balance, not perfect harmony. Real connection. The kind that grows from honest conversations and a willingness to see each other's humanity. This journey taught me something I will never forget. You cannot live your life waiting for approval. You cannot shape your progress around other people's comfort. You build your life based on your values. You work hard, you stay focused. You rise, and the right people adjust. It's the right people. Grow with you. I closed the curtains that night and let the quiet fill the room. I looked around at the place I built with my own choices. I felt proud. Not the loud kind, the quiet kind that comes from resilience. The kind that stays with you even when others doubt you. The kind that reminds you that your story matters. Whatever happens next, I know one thing. I will keep moving. Forward, I will keep growing. I will keep choosing myself. My journey is mine. My progress is mine. My peace is mine.